pointed out yesterday, I was quoting this post from Facebook.com/bitchypundit and the Google Plus group Bitchy Pundit. But it was based on statistics from the whitehouse.gov 2012-tax receipt website and an article in Common Dreams that was published in September of last year by Paul Buchheit, titled Added Up, the average American family pays $6,000 a year in subsidies to big business. I quoted $4,000 yesterday. I was somewhat downplaying it because it actually, you don't pay that $6,000, all of it, in the form of taxes. So, somebody called up and said, hey, give me a breakdown on these numbers. And I said, I don't have the actual numbers in front of me. I will get that during the break. And then I got it during the break, but that was the break followed by which we had Marianne Williamson on for an hour taking your calls. And so it's still sitting here in front of me on my desk from yesterday afternoon. I want to share the numbers with you because, people want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. So we're paying $22.88 a year. If you make $50,000 a year, the more or less average household income in the United States, or median household income in the United States, you make $50,000 a year, you pay about $23 a year, $23 for the entire year toward the federal unemployment insurance program. And the Republicans just filibustered a bill in the Senate to extend long-term unemployment benefits and restore them to people that got cut off 3 days after Christmas by the Republicans, last year, to restore those. By one vote, this thing failed to break a filibuster. So the Republicans just filibustered extending those long-term unemployment benefits, and now we're creeping up past 1.6 million Americans who are screwed. I mean, really badly screwed, looking at homelessness. So you pay roughly $23 a year toward that. And if we raised that tax, you might pay $24 a year toward that. And that would easily cover $24, $25 a year. That would easily cover all of the people who are unemployed right now. You spend $4 a year for FEMA. Not much. You spend about $37 a year for food stamps, which is, a lot more than it was 8 years ago before the Great Bush crash. But still, you got hungry people. You spend $7 a year for welfare out of your taxes. $235 for Medicare, a couple $1,000s towards Social Security, but that's money that, in a way, is going to cycle back to you. You spend roughly $250 a year for defense. And I pointed out yesterday, you pay $4,000 a year in corporate subsidies. So the Republicans are all huffing and puffing, and they're upset about the fact that we pay $23 a year for unemployment insurance, and we might have to pay $24 a year, but we're paying $4,000 a year in corporate subsidies. Well, Paul Buchheit broke this out. It's amazing. He says the title is Added Up, the average American family pays $6,000 a year in subsidies to big business. He says if you're making over $72,000, you're paying more than that. Here's how it breaks out. According to the Cato Institute, if you are making $50,000 a year, if you're the average median or slightly above median household income, you're spending, here's how it breaks out, $870 for direct subsidies and grants per year that you're paying. Now, keep in mind, unemployment insurance is arguably a direct security and grant. You're paying $23 for that. You're paying $870 in direct subsidies and grants. This is in the form of, and I quote, cash payments to farmers, research funds to high-tech companies, funding for overseas promotion of specific U.S. products and industries, does not include tax preferences or trade restrictions. What it does include are payments to 374 individuals in the plush Upper East Side of New York City and others who own farms, including Bruce Springsteen, Bon Jovi, and Ted Turner. Wealthy heir Mark Rockefeller received $342,000 to not farm his Idaho land. Michelle Bachmann gets some of this money. Right? Okay, these are direct side. It also includes fossil fuel subsidies between $10 and $41 billion a year for R&D. These may be substantially underestimated. The IMF reports U.S. fossil fuel subsidies at $502 billion a year, which means fossil fuels alone. If you're making $50,000 a year, you're subsidizing the fossil fuel industry to the tune of $4,400 per U.S. family. Now, you may not be paying all of that on your taxes right now. Instead, it's going into the U.S. budget deficit. Eventually, it will have to be paid with taxes. Okay, so that's $870 that you're paying in direct subsidies and grants to companies. Then there are $696 that you are paying in business incentives at the state, county, and city levels. Yep, people making $50,000 a year pay state, federal, and state, county, and city taxes. New York Times investigation found the states, counties, and cities, this is Paul Buchheit, gave up over $80 billion to corporations last year. Including oil and coal conglomerates, technology and entertainment companies, banks, and big box retailers. $80 billion is $696 for every U.S. family. Okay, $722 a year you are paying if you make $50,000 a year in interest rate subsidies to banks. The U.S. government essentially gives the banks 3 cents out of every tax dollar. So the wealthiest 5 banks, J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and Goldman Sachs, account for 3/4 of that total subsidy. So you are subsidizing the banks to the tune of $722 a year. $350 a year is going to fund retirement is going for retirement fund bank fees. Demos came up with this. Overpriced medications, that's $1,268 a year. Government-granted monopoly prices raise the price of prescription drugs by $270 billion a year compared to a free market price. This represents an astonishing $2,000 to the average American family. $870 a year in corporate tax subsidies, this from the Tax Foundation. Citizens for Tax Justice estimates that it's actually $1,600 per family. And $1,231 in revenue loss from corporate tax havens.